Okay, what have we got here?
あ、ああ、そんなことを言ってたね。でも、どうしてだい？どうして僕と高野さんが殺されなきゃならないんだい？
あらあら、私たちが5年目のたたりに名前を連ねられるなんて名誉な話よ。
As I'd expected, they didn't really take me telling them that they'd be killed on the night of the festival seriously. They did keep their promise to type to my security after I showed them the ritual storehouse. However, they haven't given one thought to their own safety. Oh well, like I said, I didn't expect them to believe me. If they were willing to take me seriously, I could have easily changed their fate a long time
もう
ago.
一度言いますです。富武は喉をかきむしって、高野はどこか遠くの山奥で焼かれて死にますです。
喉をかきむしるって、それはレベル5の末期症状のことかい？大丈夫だよ。僕はちゃんと注射を受けてる。
Hello, Dinah.
そんなことはありえないよ。
私だってあんまりね。どこか遠くの山奥で焼死なんて、それがあなたの夢の中に出てきたというの？
今夜だけでもどうか気をつけてほしいのです。騙されたと思ってどうか僕の言うことを聞いてはくれませんですか？
How was your day?
私たちの身に迫る何かというのも夢のお告げなのかしら。大丈夫よ。あなたの身辺は山犬がちゃんと警護しているわ。今日だって8人があなたの近辺を警護しているのよ。
ありがとうです。僕の警護は十分助かっています。
This is, I feel, would be the main, like, if they die, then everything is still wrong. Like, nothing has been fixed. I feel like the only time they, things are safe is if they manage to get past today.
ですから高野たちも同じく用心してほしいのです。
心配してくれてありがとう。大丈夫だよ。こう見えても体は鍛えてるんだ。
Like, these guys, if they die here, then, for lack of a better word, shit is gonna go down. But if they don't die, then that means things are okay.
降りかかる火の粉くらいはちゃんと払えるよ。
Tomitake flexed his biceps and smiled. He was probably trying to make me feel better. But all he really did was make me feel sadder. The sad part about being me, I know the future, but I can't tell them. It's as if that was a rule of the world. People tend not to believe what I tell them.
でも死ぬのです。富武と高野が死ねば次は僕が殺されるのです。二人が死んだら誰が僕を守ってくれるのですか？
どうも相当悪い夢を見たみたいね。大丈夫よ。もし万が一私たちが死ぬようなことがあっても山犬があなたを警護するわ。
山犬は本当に僕を守ってくれるのでしょうか？守ってくれた試しはないのです。
そんなことないわ。あなたがふっかけた喧嘩にも現れたでしょ。あなたの近辺を常に警戒してくれているわ。もちろん平時にはそこまでの警戒はしていないけれど、先日のあなたの要望以
Yeah, but
来、あなたへの警
they
戒
never
態勢
protected
は
her before,
非常に
right?
高
But
度
that
な
was
状態を
because
維持している
they
わ。
never asked her to be protected before. But this time, I'm guessing would maybe be different. I would
入江
hope.
所長の警護よりも厳重なくらいよ。
富武と高野が死んだ後もその警戒態勢は維持されますですか？
無論よ。あなたの身ほど大事なものはないんだから。
僕たちは今夜殺されてしまうともう決まってるのかい？参ったな。
富武に生き残る意志がないのなら死んだ後の私の身にしか興味がないです。
My words must have left a mark on his heart. He looked much more serious after I said that to him.
やれやれ、分かったよ。せいぜい今夜気をつけるよ。沖宮へ戻るときは僕にも警護をつけることにする。
二人の時に襲われるのだと思います。だから今夜二人きりになってはダメなのです。
あらあら、焼いてるのかしら。おませさんね。
Like I thought, I can't change their fate. When we saved Satsuko, everyone shared the same sense of urgency. That's why we all got together and saved her before it was too late. However, these two have no sense of urgency at all. Can I make them understand? I sighed and gave
富
up.
武、高野、さようなら。今日までありがとうでした。
ちょっと待ちなよ。リカちゃん。
I had nothing else to say to them now. Instead, it might be worth talking to someone else. If I could get someone else to protect them, I might be able to change something. I can't give up yet. Fate is as thin as a piece of paper. It's just like the lid on a jar of jam. Not gonna open unless you believe it will. I have to believe that I can change my fate. If I don't, it's not gonna change.
富武さんと高野さんがですか？それは本当ですか？
I've told Irie about this so many times in the past. Irie tends to listen to me more seriously than Tomitake and Takano do. However, that doesn't mean he can actually do something about it.
お社様の巫女の僕が嫌な予感がするから。では、理由になりませんですか？
わかりました。そうおっしゃるなら、お社様のご神託かもしれませんね。今夜そんな事件があれば、5年目のたたりということになってしまいます。お二人には注意するよう、私からも伝えましょう。
All Irie would end up doing would be warning the two of them, which was exactly the same thing as what I did. In other words, it wouldn't matter in the least. Irie is just a researcher, and he has no ability to deal with unexpected trouble. That's why Takano works for him after all.
くれぐれもよろしくお願いしますです。ペコリ。
Who else would treat me seriously? Who would be able to prevent Tomitake and Takano's death? That's right, there's one man who's been fighting the curse of Oyashiro-sama with all his might.
あれフルデスさん探してたんですよ。赤坂さんがぜひお別れの挨拶をしたいと言って探してたんですが。
つくづく赤坂とは肝心な時に縁がないのです。
先日の温泉の件をずいぶん恨まれているようですね。赤坂さんも何も恩返しができなかったことを悔やまれていましたよ。長い休みが取れたら改めてひなみ沢に行きたいと言って
I
いま
wonder
し
if
た。
Akasaka will have a bigger role to play in Chapter 8.
それを奥さんに勘違いされちゃったみたいで。可愛いけどあの奥さん家に帰ると怖い人なんだろうな。
Hello, Chunky.
大石、
Why is that your greeting?
実は大切な話があるのですが、誰も信じてくれませんのです。
ん？いかがな
How
さ
are
い
you
ま
doing,
したか？
Chunky? I've spoken to him several times in the past, too. He usually takes me pretty seriously. However, after they die, he starts suspecting me. That's why I stopped talking to him. Good, nice.
それをどこで聞いたんですか？どの辺で？
I told him that I heard someone talking about murdering them in the crowd. That way he might not be suspicious of me after the murders really happens.
確かに富武さんはよそ者だし、高野さんと合わせれば2人。
Just bread, or does the bread have anything on it? Or is it flavored bread?
一人が死んで一人が消えるか。確かに5年目のたたりとしてはあってもおかしくなさそうですね。デマの可能性もありますが、わかりました。ダメでもともとお二人をマークさせましょう。
襲うならひなみ沢と沖宮の間の道だとも言っていたように
Okay,
思いますです。
Tomitake's body will be found on the road leading out of the village. From what I remember, he's discovered where the concrete road turns to gravel.
わかりました。車を1台張り付かせましょう。そのくらいの余裕はありますので。
He agreed to get involved, and he wasn't suspicious of me either. I'm sure it seems odd to people that Oishi actually believed this phony-sounded story of mine. The thing about Oishi is that he strongly believes that there's no smoke when there's no fire. I've learned from experience that he tends to believe my information. However, that personality of his has caused me so much trouble in previous worlds. Bread with peanut butter and chocolate flakes, classic Dutch breakfast. What is it, is there a name for it? Like, can I search it up to see what it looks like? Or are you making a joke that it's a classic Dutch breakfast and it not actually is? Of course, there's no question why he's eager to believe me either. This is the last chance to give me a second. Okay. This is the last chance to expose the curse of Oyashiro-sama before his retirement. Even if it might be all fake, he still wanted to believe it. That was convenient for me since I couldn't show proof.
くまちゃん、聞こえますか聞こえますか？沖宮への帰り道の途中にパトを1台張り付かせてください。いえ、単なる警戒です。良くないことがそこら辺で起こるかもしれないという噂が入りまして。2人程度でいいでしょう。お願いいたします。
ありがとうです。誰も僕のことを信じてくれないので困っていたところなのです。
それを信じるのが警察です。何事もなければむしろ無事を喜ぶべきじゃないですか。出動を空振りこれを喜べ、私の先輩の言葉です。それにせっかくのタレコミ情報を見過ごして事件を防げなかったら、これほど悔しいことはありませんからね。
Dutch breakfast will have sliced bread with But I've never heard of chocolate flakes though. Like, I know a Dutch breakfast usually has like cheese and cold cuts and all that stuff. I've never heard of the chocolate sprinkles. Well, how do I say it? Hagelslag? Let me see. Let me search this up. What does this look like? Oh, this thing. Okay, I have seen this before. Okay, okay. Nice. I wonder how this became like a classic Dutch breakfast. I think it's called Floken. Let me see. Okay. Interesting. Well, hope your breakfast is good. Hope you're enjoying your breakfast. I see. That's his way of thinking about things. That's why he believed me without question. I hope he wouldn't consider me a suspect after they find their bodies tomorrow. I shouldn't worry about that now. I can still do more. Who else should I talk to? Should I talk to my friends? I can't give up. I should at least try.
まさかそんな物騒なことを言ってる人がいるのかい？よりにもよってこの日に不謹慎だな。
あれか？今日起こるかもしれないって噂のお社様のたたりってやつか？
うん、連続4年起こってるからね。やっぱり今夜も起こるかもしれないと思ってる人も少なくないみたいだ
But
ね。
Mion is very like against, like she does not believe in this thing at all.
怒ると思うのは勝手でございますけど、富武さんと高野さんを名指しするなんて失礼な話ですわね。
I'm glad you're enjoying it. I mean, that's the main thing. If you have a good breakfast.
富
If you have
武さ
a
んと
good
高野
breakfast,
さんに
then
も
you're set
念
for
の
the
ため
rest of
伝
the
え
day,
た方
right?
がいいんじゃないかな。もう伝えましたですが、信じてもらえなかったです。
そりゃそうだろうな。でも万が一何かあった後じゃ遅いしな。大石さんに話した方がいいんじゃないか？
もちろん、もう話しましたです。
へえ、リカちゃまはなかなか手際がいいじゃないですか。でも確かに用心に越したことはないです。今夜だけは。
I finally cleaned my room a bit, not all of it, but a bit. That's good. You know what? Tackling it a little by little, eventually it'll all get completed. As long as you, like, you know, set some time every single day. That's something that I do. I usually clean my room, like, a little at a time. But, like, I do certain portions and then wait a long time before cleaning another portion. So then the other part has gotten dirty again. So it's like... I'm just not consistent with it, I guess. That's good, though. If you're able to
南
at
沢
least
村
get some
連
of it
続
done.
開始事件、通称お社様のたたり。はっきり言って何年も続
Also
か
made
れち
a
ゃ困
game of
るん
it.
だ
It's
よ
called
ね。
Where Is That Supposed to Be? Or is that where it's supposed to be? So how does this game work then?
面白がって模倣するバカも出てくるし、何より村のイメージダウンにしかならない。
つまり今夜何も起こらなければそれで連続はついえるわけだろ。なら今夜起こらないように何かすればいいわけだ。
なんかって何ですの？悪いことが起こらないように村中で見回りでもしますの？
見回りなんかしたら、かえって不用心な気がします。そもそも手の打ちようなんてあるんですか？一応綿流しの準備会の方では連続開始事件を模倣しようとする変質者が紛れ込む可能性もあるので、見かけない顔には警戒しようってことになってる。
ひなみ沢はよその人の顔はわかるからね。
Easy for us to tell strangers apart from the locals. Makes sense. Yeah, okay, so just find people that just don't look like they
見
stand
慣
or
れ
like
ない人
they're
がいた
meant
ら
to
す
be
ぐ
there.
わかる。だからきっと大丈夫だと思うけどな。でもそれでもきっと富武と高野は殺されるのです。リカちゃん、そうだね。私たちにもできることをしてみようよ。
そうだな。一晩中を護衛はできないだろうけど せめ
It
て
works like
祭り
you
が終わ
point
る
at
ま
the
での
object and
間
ask yourself where
近
it's
くにいよう
supposed to
ぜ
be. If it's not there, then it needs to move to the right place. And the good place, it's good. Everything is where it's supposed to be, you win. Nice! That's a pretty good game. I mean, being able to find fun in things you have to do, I think is the best thing to do. To go about doing stuff like that, like cleaning, for example. So you're just packing stuff up right now, or have you got to like vacuuming or anything like that? You're just like kind of putting stuff where, you know, they're meant to be.
人が近くにいれば悪い連中もおいそれと手出しはできねえだろ
So are you planning on also having like shelves, and it's like, oh, one shelf is gonna be like your plushies for one thing, and one of them is gonna be like your merch for another, and like that type of stuff? Or how are you organizing things? I couldn't tell if they really believe me or not, but they listened to me at least. We decided to keep our eyes on Tomitake and Takano and protect them for the rest of the night. I guess I've done everything I can now. But it's hard to believe this is enough to prevent their
あ
deaths.
とは明日目が覚めた時何も起こっていないかどうかね
Well, how are you guys gonna do anything? Because they're gonna be leaving to
リカ
Okinawa.
は富武たちの死を防げると思っていますですか無理かもしれないやはりあの二人が死ぬのは私の命
We're
運
gonna
が
try to
尽
get
きるこ
shelves.
とを
Right
知
now,
ら
it's
せ
just a box and
時計の
it's
時報なの
just
かも
box
しれ
and
ない
IKEA shelf. Okay, I see. Yeah, I think it's good if you are able to get shelves. You know, you could just place things up. You can organize things better. I don't really have many shelves myself, so you know I can't really say that I have much. But I also don't have many things. I know you have a lot more stuff from things that you like, or you maybe want to show them off more.
でもさっき高野も言った山犬が私への警護を厳重にしてくれているからそうしてる間に東京から応援いつものように富武たちが殺されたとしてもそれでもダメなら潔く死ぬしかないわねとにかく今回は最後の最後まで諦めない
Lego Pokemon Shrine, Lego random stuff, and that's it. Okay, so maybe not like the craziest amount. Where do you keep all your plushies though?
あがける限りどうせ無駄だから残りの時間をワインで過ごすなんてリカの好きなようにするといいのです羽生は相変わらずどうせダメだと思ってる僕はいいもダメもないですあるがままが運命ですから期待するから心が痛むか
If I'm an actress trying to get up on the stage, Hanyu is a real bystander. We have very different opinions when it comes to this.
リカ何があってもどうか気を落とさないでなんだか今回もどうせダメだって遠回しに言われてるみたいね
Good question. Half my is my bed and the Pokemon ones are in the Pokemon Shrine. Oh, okay.
最
So
近あん
you're
た
gonna
と
need a
話してる
big
と
shelf then for
イ
the
ラつくこと
Pokemon
が多い
Shrine.
わ
Yeah, I agree, Hanyu. I agree, Rika, like about that with Hanyu. Like Hanyu is just here to piss people off. I understand. Hanyu keeps telling me to not get my hopes up because she cares about me. Because I have no hope to defeat fate. I only get hurt when that hope is betrayed. And the more I get hurt, the closer I get to losing my mind and disappearing. For Hanyu, that means losing her only friend. Losing me is probably the most unbearable thought for Hanyu, since she has to live alone, unable to communicate with anyone else. I now believe that fate can be changed. Even when I didn't have that faith, I still believe that eventually I'll find a way to get out of this maze. I can make a picture. Yeah, sure. Show me what it looks like. Perhaps Hanyu knows something I don't. It might just be a goldfish inside of a fishbowl. There might be no way for me to escape my fate. We're stuck alone inside of a fishbowl, yet every day I knock on the glass, believing that I could break it someday. Hanyu keeps telling me that I'm wasting my time. If I get hurt and die, she would have to survive all by herself inside the fishbowl. With that, I think I finally understand our difference of opinions. Hanyu has lived for much longer time than I have. Because of that, she understands the law of this infinitely spanning world better than I do. No matter how much I refute Hanyu, I can never refute the truth. Even so, I still have to believe in my own faith. I believe in a spear that will pierce the wall of fate. My faith will make that spear sharper than ever. We found Tomitake in the crowd and struck up a conversation with him to keep him around as long as we could. However, as soon as the festival ended, they tried to leave. If they left now, I'd never see them again. Mion tried insisting they stay at her house for the night, but Tomitake refused. Everyone tried various ways to stop them from being alone because the murderer might be around. However, we eventually started to believe that they wanted to be alone for adult reasons. I wound up suggesting we shouldn't interrupt the two lovebirds.
大丈夫だよリカちゃん。富武のおじさまだって男だよ。いざとなれば高野さんのために獅子奮迅の活躍をしてくれるよ。
そうよね。私に危機があったら二郎さんが体を張って守ってくださるのよね。
そのつもりだよ。
じゃあ私たちはもう行こう。もうだいぶ遅いよ。
ありがとうね。気を利かせてくれて。
Do you have work today,
くれぐ
Chunky?
れ
Or
も
are
誤
you
解
off
しないでく
today?
れよ。僕は診療所に忘れ物をしてるんだ。それで診療所の鍵は高野さんが持ってるから、高野さんと一緒に診療所に行くんだよ。
Sent? Okay. You sent it on the server? Okay, let me see. Pokemon. Yo, that's a lot of Pokemon stuff. I see what you mean about the Pokemon shrine. Yeah, you definitely need a shelf to be able to store everything there. And there's some big plushies with Pikachu and Eevee. Very cool. And you're off for today. Okay.
へえ。
I'm glad to hear that. You can have a
Tomita-kun
nice day
no
off.
oji-sama?
And not to,
Last
yeah, well,
grade wa
the
oku
card,
ga深い
but these are just the card, how do you say? The card packs, or the boxes where the cards came in, right?
違うよシオン。きっと分娩台を使ったお医者さんごっこなんだよ。
Dude, what is that? Okay. Crash Bang Wham.
はう
Here, I made pictures. Okay.
ナースプレーってなんだろう。
がっちり理解できてるなら照れ隠しに殴るのはやめろ。それからミオンとシオン、お前ら下ネタだけ意気投合するな。
じゃあね、みんな。本当に忘れ物を取りに戻るだけだからね。ついてきちゃダメだよ。
Dude, what is Serena doing?
富武、本当に用心するのですよ。理科の心配しすぎではございませんの？はあ、
Everyone laughed when Satsuko yawned. It seemed like a good time to call it a day. It doesn't feel like I was able to change their fate. I just hope that they pay attention and that they're prepared for whatever faces them. Still might have a chance. All I can do now, pray.
それじゃあ富武さん。またぜひその時は写真を見せてくださいね。
その罰ゲームのシャツ、ぜひ着てきてくださいね。
よっ、美女との一夜、羨ましいね。
Okay, Keiichi.
ヒューヒュー。
またね、みんな。次に会うのは秋頃かな。
私たちが今夜殺されなければね。それじゃみんな、おやすみなさい。
おやすみなさい。
Yeah, so they do go to the hospital then. So like he has a chance to get infected with whatever illness they can, or I'm not even sure. That was the best I could do on the night of the Watanagashi. So now, will they die? Or will they? What will happen? Please tell me what happened this night. This is like a box with a cat inside. Please tell me what happened this night. I don't even know if the cat is alive or dead inside the box. Please tell me what happened this night. The cat, the box, is dead. Frederica Birkenstall. Oh, wow. Okay, that's where the cards are. I didn't realize those shelves were full with Pokemon cards. I didn't even realize that. So, like, all those, like, or the drawers inside of the shelves, all, like, are just filled with cards. Mitake gathered his paperwork and slipped it inside his bag.
嫌にしつこかったね。
Yes, and that's like 189. Jeez.
そんなに僕らに死んでほしいのかな。
夢の話とはいえ迷惑な話よね。
入江所長にリカちゃんの検査を念入りに行った方がいいと言っておいてください。夢見の悪さは何かの予兆かもしれない。
Not at all. I'm still filling, but I'm planning for more. How many until you're sat? Like, Do you think you'll keep collecting Pokemon cards forever, or is there a point where you'll be like, oh, I'm happy with this? Or what do you think you want?
リカちゃんに何かあったら大変なことになるからね。
Takano touched Tomitake's hand gently. As he turned bright red, Takano moved in closer and spoke. The way she acts is just, okay?
ねえ、次郎さん。とても真面目な話があるの。聞いて
2,000!
くださ
Damn!
る？
なんだい、高野さんまで真面目な話があるってのかい？まさか高野さんまで僕が喉をかきむしって死ぬ夢を見たなんていうのはなしだよ。
その、まさかだとしたら？
え？
Takano stared at him with a mischievous look as if seducing him. Started whispering into his ear.
驚いているのよ。あの子には本当に神通力があるのかもしれないって。
Yeah, so this is where it confirms that Takano's the one that kills him then.
それはどういうことだい？
Takano smiled gently and pulled back her hair. Even seeing her do that made Tomitake's heart race.
私、あなたのことが好きよ。
I just like the shiny cardboard. You know what? Fair, fair. Shiny cardboard is shiny for a reason. You know, and people like shiny things overall.
それは光栄だな。
Takano's fingers curled around Tomitake's chin, stroking, tickling, and caressing it. The movements were very... I'm not reading, like, a sex scene here. I hope that doesn't happen. Movements were very captivating and seductive.
いろいろな男と付き合ってきたけれど、野心も野生味も
But I wonder
私
if
には
that
合
just
わな
means
か
she's
った。
gonna kill them. Or what?
あなたのような固くて真面目な人が一番相性がいいって分かったの。あなたなら私のすべてを受け止めてくれる。私のことを本当に理解してくれるって信じられるの。だからあなたにならミオのすべてを捧
And
げられる。
Pokemon cards are the gateway drug to gambling? Whoa, whoa, who said that? It must be a glitch. You could kinda say that, but like, there's like, I feel a lot of barriers to entry for Pokemon cards that like, gambling doesn't have. You know, like first you have to buy the cards, you have to open the packs, and then it's like, I guess maybe you can say it's like a gateway, but I feel like it is pretty, even though it technically is gambling, I feel like there's a pretty big difference between them.
私のすべてをあなたに抱き受けてもらいたいの。
What is that?
この気持ちがわかるかしら。
Am I being praised there by the, I don't even know what they are. The other slimes.
急にどうしたんだい？
Her voice didn't really sound that affectionate. Mitake knew from experience that he couldn't grasp what was on her mind when she wore a cold smile like that.
いよいよなの。もうじきなの。
It seemed as though she couldn't wait for something to happen. The chat, oh, okay, okay. There's a chilling allure to her strange smile. That made one in question if something was exciting. Something exciting was really about to
何
happen.
がもうじきなんだい？
Mitake asked, trying hard to resist the temptation.
私の夢が叶う日が。
君の
Chat picture.
夢？
そう。
Is that like, so I'm the slime overlord, and then I have my slimelets. I don't even know what they're doing, but they're raising their arms to me.
私の夢、話したことがあったわよね。それともベッドの上で話したことは記憶に残らないのかしら。
いや、覚えてるよ。君の夢。
Tomitake's response was vague. Either he didn't remember or he hadn't understood it very well. Wait, I can make it. Okay, let's see it. Let's see
お
it.
社様のたたりが現実のものとなる日がやってくる。その日こそが私の子供の頃からの夢が叶う日。次郎さん、
Why does it look like a conga line now?
聞いて。私はもうあなたと一緒にはいられないの。
それはどういう意味だい？
あなたと私は違う世界に住む存在なの。ここひなみ沢は人の世と鬼の世の接点だから、日の当たる世界のあなたと、日の当たらない世界の私が出会えた。でももうそれが終わるの。陽光の降り注ぐ日中に訪れた束の間の月食が、日の当たる世界の人間と日の当たらない世界の鬼を引き合わせ。
Of a really long conga line of like gold, please. You're gonna make stream avatars for chat. I have already an idea. What's your idea? You think? I don't know if I would, like what I would want to do, but I like, how I could make it into a mode, but I think it could be fun. But what's your idea?
私が何を言っているかわかるかしら。
Make an idea picture,
高
sure.
野さん、まだビールが抜けないのかい？酔ってるね。
お別れの夜が来たの。日の当たる世界を教えてくれてありがとう。あなたの温かさは日だまりの温かさだ
The
った。
sunlit realm?
騙し合ったり疑い合ったりしない。だからあなたと別れるのがとても惜しい。
She pulled herself away from Tomitake and slowly stepped back, as if signaling the time had come to
君が
part.
何を言っているのかわからない。何の話なんだい、高野さん。
だからあなたに選んでほしい。私のそばにいることを選んで日の当たる世界のすべてを捨てる勇気を見せてほしい。あなたが私の耳元でささやいてくれたことがどれも本当だったなら、二郎さんに戸惑いはないはず。
By that time, Tomitake understood that Takano was asking him to make an important
まさ
decision.
か君は
そのまさかなの、二郎さん。
Tomitake got up from his seat and looked Takano straight into the eyes. There was a faint glimmer of hostility within those eyes.
私より仕事が大事なの、やっぱり。
信じられない。君のことを信じていたのに。
Those words were one of rejection. Takano's lips twisted into a cruel smile.
お社様は人と鬼を融和したそうだけど、そのお社様でも私とあなたを融和することはできなさそうね。
Takano slowly opened the door. 6 men in overalls were standing there at the ready. Tomitake was frozen in shock. 6 men walked up to Tomitake with no expressions on their face. It was immediately obvious that they were going to do something to harm him.
これは何の真似だ？
ひなみ沢症候群は導火線に火がついた爆弾と同じ。それが爆発する前に東京はあなたに爆弾を解体してしまうことを命じた。でもね、東京にはこの爆弾が派手に爆発して欲しがっている人もいるの。
バカな！そんなことをして誰が何の得をするんだ？
得のないことをする人なんてこの世にはいないわ。損得があるからベクトルが生まれる。だから私を前にそれを問うことは無意味ね。
What is this song?
信じられない。そんなバカなことを考えている連中がいるのかい？ひなみ沢症候群はとても危険な病気であることは君も知っているはずだ。
そうよ。爆発すればとても大変なことになる。だからこそ東京も失態を隠しきれない。
君はその連中に買収されたというのか？
元からそういう目的で送り込まれているの。申し訳ないわね。出会った時から私とあなたは住む世界が違ったの。
それで僕をどうするつもりだ？
あなたの協力があれば私の仕事はとても楽になるわ。もちろんそれはあなたにとっては裏切り行為にあたる。
Wait. Is Takano an alien? Is this like the chapter 6 thing?
僕に寝返れというつもりか？
二郎さん、私にささやいてくれた愛が本当なら黙って私に協力してはくださらないかしら。もちろん報酬は望みのまま。あなたが私を望むならば一生
There's
を
no
あ
way,
な
right?
たのためだけに使
I
い
think
た
this
い。
is like from her saying they're two different words. Then it's not literally.
あな
No,
た
no,
が
no.
望むとき、あなたの望むところで、あなた、私の体はあなただけのもの。あなたの重欲を満たすためだけに独り占めをしていいのよ。私もあなたにならあなただけのしもべになってあげてもいい。
I never. Slow phaser wind knew. I never realized that's what it was called.
私の全身に
Words were a kind of
あなたの
assault,
匂いを
directly
染み付け
hammering
さ
at
せ
the
たい
emotions
とは
men
思った
had difficulty resisting. They were like an evil spell to control his heart. Upon hearing them, Tomitake felt an unknown sensation rush up his spine, as his feet froze in place, entranced. However, he forced himself to resist the temptation. He sealed the cracks in his wall of reason to stop Takano from forcefully entering his heart.
断る。
She had known from the start that Tomitake was going to refuse her. Even so, Takano let out a triumphant laugh. It's funny. He thought Tomitake would refuse right away. However, it took him a while to refuse because of how effective she was at seducing him. The time it took him to refuse her was one of a victory for Takano. Tomitake was a time of humiliation. Takano continued to laugh. She sounded rather like an evil witch.
そう言うと思ったわ。それでこそ私の大好きな二郎さんよ。
Takano raised her right hand and gave the signal to the mountain
心
dog.
聞く。君も願ったのか。
失礼しますね、富武ニードの。
二郎さんも鈍いわね。山犬は初めから私の部下よ。この診療所は最初から私たちが掌握している。知らないのはあなたと入江所長だけよ。
くそ。
Tomitake moved into action, sensing the danger that was about to befall him. His fist thrust out as quick as lightning, knocking one man down before he could even blink. However, the other mountain dogs certainly weren't going to stay there and watch. They all attacked him with one. He tried to strike back with an elbow, but he simply couldn't overcome the difference in numbers. Tomitake tried his best, but soon enough the mountain dogs had wrestled him to the ground.
くそー。離せ。離せんか。こいつジタバタすんな。
They pinned him down so that he couldn't move an
さ
inch.
すがね二郎さん。6人がかりでも手こずらせるなんて素敵よ。
Takano walked over and smiled while looking at
ね
Tomitake.
え二郎さん、どうせ断るんでしょうけれど、私の自己満足のためにもう一度聞かせてね。やっぱり意見を変えて私の味方になってはくれないのかしら。
無駄だ。君の仲間にはならない。
その一言が欲しかったの。私の未練を断ち切るためにね。
So the fact that Takano controls the hospital basically is probably why Irie commits suicide at some point. Takano was holding a small case in her hands. She opened it and showed Tomitake what was inside.
その注射は。
いやね、想像がついてるくせに。
バカな。すべて破棄したはず。
二郎さん、あなたはこう思っているでしょう。たとえ破棄した例の注射だとしても、自分は予防薬を投与済みだから注射されても免疫があるはず。そうでしょ。だから怯えてないのよね。あなたが今回ひなみ沢に来た時に投与された予防薬はね、あなたは今自覚してないだろうけども、すでにレベル3クラスで感染してる立派なひなみ沢症候群の潜在患者なの。二郎さん、注射するとき目を背ける癖があるでしょ。ダメよ。自分に何の注射がされてるか毎回ちゃんと確認した方がいいわよ。
くそー。離せや。
Tomitake struggled to get away, but he simply couldn't move. Upon seeing his sorry state, Takano laughed with glee.
H173 は二郎さんもよくご存知のはずよね。投与することで感染し、かつ興奮状態を誘発することで疑似的にレベル5を発症させる。どれだけ劇的な効果があったかは二郎さんもご覧になってたんじゃないかしら。被験者は盛んに頸部液下のかゆみを訴えていたわね。過去の症例の文献から見ると、どうもレベル5発症時にリンパ節に異常なかゆみを訴えるケースがあるみたい。抗原抗体反応の一種かもしれないわね。だから二郎さん、あなた運が良
Scent?
けれ
Alright,
ば
let's see what you have
リカち
here.
ゃんが予言した通りの死に方ができるわよ。
It's just like, it's the small slimes. I think that's a good idea. We could make them like they're a part of me. And it could be like they're detaching off of me. That could be a fun idea.
自傷で自ら死ぬか、それ
Tuno
と
Link.
も脳を憎悪で
Yeah, it's a
焼かれて
perfect
廃人
name.
になるか。あなたはどちらになるのかしら。
Whole absolute cinema. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it's a cool idea. I like that. Why is there a top hat and then someone would have the I love Tuno flag or something on it?
H173 はね、次郎さん。
やめろやめろ
Oh, the cap. Okay.
これじゃあお注射は難しいわね。
I couldn't make. Okay, yeah, no. I just was unsure what it was, but yeah, it's a cap. It's a funny cap, but yeah, I could see
眠
that.
らせてあげて。
One of the men covered Tomitake's mouth with a towel soaked in some kind of chemical. He tried to fight it off with all his might, but his strength eventually left him, and he became as quiet as a beached whale. Takano stroked his face to make sure he couldn't resist. Then she brought the needle towards his throat. She pushed it right into his skin, and as she squeezed down on the syringe plunger, the skin surrounding the tip of the needle swelled up, and eventually the contents were absorbed into his body.
さよなら、次郎さん。次に目が覚めるときは楽しい悪夢の世界にいるのかしらね。
Really? That can make me... Yeah, sure, you could, you could. The mountain dogs finally got off of him. He couldn't even twitch.
誰か彼を私の車のトランクに運んで。
Two of the men lifted up Tomitake and carried him outside.
そうそう。彼の愛用の自転車も一緒だときっと喜ぶでしょうね。地獄へ行っても好きなだけサイクリングができる。
The mountain dogs all quietly laughed at the joke.
ではこれより終末作戦を開始します。
They stopped laughing as she began to speak.
お好みは以後の連絡を待て。入江所長から目を離すな。あとフルで理科にも注意してね。どんな第六感か知らないけど、少なくとも彼の死に方だけは当てたわ。あの子。もっと研究したかったけど残念ね。
了解ですわ。こちらはお任せください。道中はお気をつけて。
気をつけるほどもない旅よ。ところで入江所長は？
So, but don't get how did she die tonight then?
祭りの後の打ち上げ中でしょう。まだ神社の敷地内にいるとのことですね。
あの研究しかできない坊やがどう取り乱すか見れないのが残念ね。
I don't know who was it Okonogi? Oh, is this the guy? Wait, I didn't hear his accent. Let me listen to his accent next time. Mountain Dog started laughing again too. Takano checked the time on her watch. It was nearly 10 p.m. Most people must have left the festival for home. Those people still there were probably enjoying the after party while getting drunk inside the shrine. It was a good time for her to leave without being seen by
で
anyone.
は私も出発するわ。死んでくるわね。
After saying that, she left the clinic alone. She left through the back door. She left amid the moonlight, the singing of the insects on the side of a river. It was a typical night in Hinomizoa. While enjoying all these sensations, Takano got inside her car. Nomitake was sleeping inside the trunk. His bicycle, on the other hand, was loading into her back seat. Also, Tomitake was in the trunk when she picked up Keiichi that time. How ironic. Your bicycle has a better seat than you. I'll let you out of there soon. I should leave him by the road that leads to Okinomi. That'll be a good spot. Takano found a good place to drop him off, but she gave up on it as there was a police cruiser parked in the area. She figured that they were probably patrolling to make sure the 5th year's curse didn't happen. Good job, officers. No one would ever suspect that there's a curse packed in my trunk right now. Takano drove onto less lit streets, rougher roads. Eventually the mountain road ended, and she was surrounded by darkness. There were rice fields nearby. You could tell by the sound of the croaking frogs. Takano parked her car by the pitch-black roadside. She had to stop here, otherwise she'd be too close to her residential area. Indeed, she was nearly in Okinomiya. She'd have dumped him earlier, but the police cruiser had foiled that plan. Takano pulled Tomitake out of the trunk and left him by the road. So this is a different spot that he's been dumped in compared to before. She also left him his bicycle. Tomitake let out a small groan. It probably wouldn't be long until he
さ
woke
よ
up.
なら、次郎さん。 あなたのギクシャクした恋の語りも楽しかったわ。もっと聞かせてもらいたかったから。もうじきあなたは目を覚ますわ。その頃にはあなたはレベル5の末期を迎えてる。あなたは錯乱の挙句きっと哀れな死に方をするでしょうね。氏脇病が語るように、やはりあなたも喉をかきむしって死ぬのかしら。それを観察できないのがとても残念。そしてあなたの異常な死と私の失踪はこの地に5年目のたたりとして刻まれるでしょう。そうしてお社様のたたりはますます強
Why
固
does
な
she
ものと
want
なって
to
残
establish
る。
the curse so badly?
その礎となれるなんて。次郎さん、これはとても名誉なことなのよ。あなたはこれから命ある身を捨てて永遠の存在の一部となれるのだから。
That was her last farewell to Tomitake. Takano got back inside her car and started driving. She could see the place she left Tomitake in her rearview mirror, but it was already shrouded in darkness. Heading up to the mountains now, I guess. Why does she want to burn herself alive? I don't get it. Takano drove through the main streets of Okinomiya and made a few turns, heading for the dark mountains in the distance. It had been a while since she left Hinamizawa. It was almost midnight. Might have already made it to the neighboring prefecture. It was difficult to tell because she couldn't really see anything in the darkness. Takano stopped her car in the middle of all of that. After turning off both the engine and the headlights, there really was nothing but darkness around. It was as if time itself stopped. Takano wasn't sure how long she waited, but eventually she saw the headlights of a car blinking twice. She blinked her own headlights back at it. Saw several people walking towards her. Two men wearing blue overalls knocked on the window of Takano's car. Obligingly, she opened it. Looked over her face and the paperwork they had in their
ご苦労
hands.
様、高野よ。
After confirming her identification, they called someone over the radio.
本部どうぞ。ヒナを確保。尾行ないか。
尾行はなし。後方400メートルクリア。
尾行はありません。お疲れ様でした。どうぞ指揮者へ。書類をお預かりします。
書類カバンはトランクの中よ。これが鍵。あとコーヒーがもらいたいわね。入れてくださる？
Command vehicle was a trailer with a bunch of high-tech communication equipment inside. The light of the electric equipment shone beautifully in the dark.
さあさあ、コーヒーです。どうぞ。
Another man in blue overalls offered her a paper cup.
ありがとう。私の死体の方は大丈夫？
現地にて偽装終了との連絡が入っております。
現地？岐阜の山中でドラム缶で焼け死になのかしら？
死因までは確認させます。
Operation Doomsday. That was the name of their mission. The goal of the operation's first stage was Takano's escape from Hinamizawa and the extraction of 18 specific classified documents. Wait. The goal had been completed. Assassinating the liaison from Tokyo, Nomitake, was also one of the goals. That one had also been completed in the way Takano had planned. He was not killed that way just because Takano had wanted to see it. It was intentionally planned that way so the office in Tokyo would be suspicious of the Iria Institute. They were trying to create a story that the Institute was upset with the recent budget cuts and the cancellation of their study. Nomitake's mysterious death would be a suitable way to persuade people. Nomitake was not the only one who was expected to die. Takano was expected to do so as well. However, Takano didn't really need to die herself. They had acquired a substitute body for her, so she didn't have to actually die. Takano had no idea how they got the body. According to what she heard, a team in Gifu took care of everything. So that's where they get Takano's cause of death to look one day before. Once Tomitake and Takano were dead, Tokyo would definitely grow suspicious of the Iria Institute. The main purpose of this mission was to make the Institute look reckless.
申し訳ありません、さあさあ。現地の工作班で問題が発生したようです。
問題？どうしたのかしら？
偽装死体の選別にミスがあったそうです。
A mistake with the corpse.
死後24時間経過していたとか。
あら、するとどういうことになるのかしら？つまりサンサは昨日すでに亡くなられていたことになってしまいます。
Takano's body was supposed to be selected from the corpses of people who had died the same day. The plan was to then burn the body and make the identification of the corpse more difficult. They'd find a suitable body for the plan. However, they just found out that it had been dead for over a day. That would create a hole in their plans.
現地の方で現在収集に当たっていますので。
いいわ。その死体を私ということにしなさい。
は、しかしそれでは。
ひなみ沢を滅びに導くお社様の使いが実は前日に死んでいて、祭りの面白い。それは実に面白いわね。
Takano laughed with satisfaction for a while. The other people in the vehicle couldn't understand why Takano was laughing so much. Takano continued to laugh as it was the funniest thing she'd ever heard.
構わない。岐阜にはそれを私にしろと伝えなさい。
I have made a video sent. Okay. Where'd you send the video? Okay. Tell me when it finishes loading.
そのくらいのほつれがあった方が面白いわ。
よろしいのですか。万が一ということも。
万が一なんてないわ。だって高野美代は現に今日綿流しのお祭りの会場を闊歩していたのよ。たとえ検視の結果死後24時間以上経っていると出たって、おめでたい連中は検視結果の方が間違ってると思ってくれるわよ。
Takano almost seemed to be enjoying the risk.
了解。現場へその旨連絡します。
それより
Sent and loaded. Okay. What is it that you made here, Chunky? Okay. From here. Yeah. Holy. Look at us vibe out. Look at all the Tunolings. We take off in a rocket ship as well? Wow. How beautiful is that? The power of two. Why is it two and not Tuno?
私の死体はドラム缶の中で焼かれていたの？
はい。高速道路近くの山中でドラム缶の中で焼けていたのを発見され
BFDI
たそうで
Tuno
す。
version. I remember my siblings used to watch BFDI a lot, like the initial one. Takano seemed surprised to hear that from him, and she started laughing strangely again. Nobody could figure out why she was laughing like that.
なるほど。お社様の生まれ変わりは伊達じゃないということなのね。あの子にはやはり人知の及ばない何かがあるということを認めなければならない。南沢の山犬に R の監視体制を厳重にするように連絡を。
了解。
失礼します。
I'm surprised I'm the only one. Well, there's certain days people come and go. You know, some days you're in, some days you're not. It just depends. I don't know. Everyone has stuff to do.
沖宮警察が富武の遺体を発見したとの無線を傍受しました。
発見したわね。いよいよ始まるわよ。
おいさん、先生が到着してます。
Okay, this
どうも
is
どう
this.
も。
I think we've seen already. This scene
どう
with
ですか、
Meteor,
入江の先生。
where she entered the area enclosed by a blue tarp. I've had 5 successful nights of sleep. Congrats, Chunky. I'm very happy to hear that. It's good that when you can have successful nights of sleep. You plan to keep it up for the next following 5 nights? There are people from forensics were taking pictures of the dead body from various angles. Hide was squatting down next to the dead body of Jiro Tomitake. He stood up, he was white as a sheet.
信じられません。
そりゃ私だって信じられませんよ。初見で見た限り、仏は
Five
喉を
Nights at Freddy.
かきむしっています。それも自分の手でです。こいつはまっとうな死に方じゃない。十中八九、何らかのヤバめな薬物でしょう。
彼は何らかの薬物の常習者だったということでしょうか。
さあねえ。そいつを調べるのは どうやら我々の仕事になりそうです。
大石さん、この角材は
Okay, why is the 2x4 there? That wasn't there last time.
仏が振り回したんじゃないかと思います。
That wasn't what happened. There was no 2x4 there.
で、途中で捨てて、喉をかくのが楽しくなっちゃったんじゃないかと。
角材を何のために振り回したんでしょう。
自衛のためと考えるのが一番自然だと思います。
You know, he just like got drugged.
仏の体に外傷がいくつかあるのに気づいてます？
ええ、打撲傷を思わせる跡がいくつか散見できます。
ってことは、一番考えられるストーリーは、仏が祭り終了後、沖宮へ帰る
Why did this song make me get deja vu? This song? I'm not sure. This is the first time I'm hearing it in this, in this, so I can't say I've heard it before.
それで取り押さえられて怪しげな注射とかそういうのをされて、その結果錯乱させられて死に至らしめられた。
喉をかきむしるように誘導できる薬
Yes, you
物
have, idiot.
聞いたことがあります。
私もそっちは専門じゃありませんが、薬中の末期症状に自傷行為ってあるらしいじゃないですか。
Like I said in a video, but I need the perfect one.
まあその辺はうちの鑑識のじい様が調べてくれるでしょう。
Well, you can always wait to see, you know, until you find a perfect video to send, you know.
大石さん、失礼します。ここから数百メートルのところに富武二郎のものと思われる自転車が見つかりました。
A mile from here? So he walked for a long time.
おお、そうですか。ありがとうございます。何か手がかりとかは？
いえ、初見では特には。今鑑識が行ってます。
じゃあつまりその自転車があった場所が襲撃場所と考えていいんでしょうね。それで戦ったり逃げたりしてここまで来た。
Oishi frowned, crossing his arms in front of his chest. Hideo was looking at the miserable corpse of Tomitake, and he kept saying the same thing.
ありえない。絶対にありえない。
Hideo knew right away that Tomitake's death was caused by terminal symptoms of Hinamizawa syndrome. Okay, what is this? Yeah. Oh, this for the yeah, it's for the trailer for the movie for Digital Circus, right? Why is he wearing his glasses like that? How long are Digital Circus episodes? Are they about like an hour? How long is each episode of this? For it to be in a... oh yeah, 1 hour. Okay, 1 hour finale. So there you go. I saw it's also in the Netherlands now. Nice. Let's go. I saw that. So, like, what is it? I think they were getting removed in how do you say? In I'm trying to say. In Australia though, like I saw some theaters took it out. Like they weren't gonna end up. Oh, you didn't see the best part? What's the best part? What, is he dead? Oh, and there he goes. Okay, he just gets sucked up the slide. Is he dead or something in the normal show? He hadn't swung the 2x4 at a real person. Probably saw some kind of hallucination due to the L5 symptoms. Pain is dead. Oh, okay, okay. Violent reactions to hallucinations, one of the clearest characteristics of the terminal stage. However, Tomitake supposedly took a vaccine before he came to the village. There's no way he could reach L5 symptoms in such a short period of time. Irie didn't want to believe it, but it was obvious that someone intentionally injected him with the pathogen. The pathogen must have been strong enough to give him L5 symptoms immediately. The only drug that could do that is H173, a chemical weapon that induces an acute onset of symptoms. Makes people hallucinate, which inevitably leads to horrible death. It's the absolute worst kind of demon. When did Glitch start making shows? Or animations, I guess, in general. However, they had destroyed all of it due to its dangerous nature. All that was left was helpful chemicals, such as vaccines and treatment drugs. Tomitake was their liaison from Tokyo. Whoever killed him must have had full knowledge about him and this drug. Since Meta Runner. I don't think I've heard of that one. But that person know he was their liaison. It was them. Then that idiot thought of Takano. Takano is also a watchdog from Tokyo. Something like a superintendent. It is quite possible that something bad had happened to her too.
そうだ。高野さんはどうなったんです？
え？ああ、お宅の看護師さんの。
多分富武さんと一緒だったと思うんです。高野さんは無事なんですか？
先生、彼女の電話番号はわかります？
もちろんです。
熊ちゃん、入江の先生に電話番号を聞いて署から在宅確認を取らせてください。
了解っす。
Meta Runner, Sunset Paradise, Murder Drones, and the Amazing Circus along. Okay. Oh yeah, SMG4. That's like where they started. Oh, okay.
先生、番号。
はい。よろしいですか？
Oh my guy got the phone number, repeated it to make sure he got it right, and dashed out of the blue tent.
先生、高野さんと仏は確か親しい仲でしたよね。
ええ。
何かトラブルがあったとか、そういうのは聞いたことがあります？
まさか聞いたことないです。仲のいい二人でした。
Tomitake and Takano weren't just close in relationship. They were co-workers sent from Tokyo. Or just in a close... Okay. They had access to information that even Irie didn't. There was no way that there was trouble between them.
何事もなけりゃいいんですがね。下手すりゃ仏か、それとも星か。
Murder drones and SMG4 in the same universe? Really? I didn't know that. How does that even work?
なるほど。看護師なら怪しげな薬物を取り扱えてもおかしくはないですよね。
そんな薬品はうちの診療所にはありませんし。
Do all their shows take place in the same universe, or just those two, or just those, you know, just their series and Murder drones? Okay.
高野さんに持ち出せるわけがない。
それでも一般人よりは容易でしょ。
ですからそもそもそんな薬物は聞いたことがないし、当診療所にも存在しません。
Why do you have to lie? Irie made clumsy excuses while he tried to piece together what was going on. However, Irie had no means of knowing the state of affairs in Tokyo, and he couldn't reach any further conclusion. So it was easy to laugh at him, as though he was a frog trapped in a well.
大石さん、留守のようです。署の待機組の方で直接訪問すると言ってます。
先生、すみませんが、高野さんの住所を教えてください。まじゃあ、それプラス県警に今夜出た身元不明の女性死体がないか確認を取ってください。あるいは県外の可能性もあるな。課長に近県にも同様に身元不明の女性死体が出てないか確認を取るよう伝えてください。
了解っす。
沖宮警察が現地の県警本部への接触を開始。サンサ、よろしいのですね。
ええ、構わないわ。そのままで行きなさい。どうせすぐに週末よ。誰かが一人くらい死亡時刻を疑ったって、誰かが耳を貸す前に全てが滅ぶ。
Everything will be destroyed. Wrong show, Meta Runner and Murder drones are in the same. Oh, okay. That makes sense. That makes more sense because SMG4, I remember, was not like, it was a different thing entirely. The day after Watanagashi, Oishi showed up at our school. It isn't uncommon for Oishi to show up here today. Interestingly, he always asks us to see the most key person in that world. He asked for Keiichi in the world where he gets sick. He asked for Rena in the world where she gets sick. this world he asked for me.
富武が死にましたか？
Ah, okay. I see. I see.
ええ。ちょっと尋常じゃない死に方でしてね。薬物か何かで錯乱状態だったんじゃないかと思います。自分で自分の喉をかき破るというショッキングな亡くなり方でした。
やはり抗えないのか。
There's nothing I can do now. I knew this was gonna happen. They're Takano's dead
高
too.
野は
彼女についても残念なご連絡があります。岐阜の山中で焼死体で発見されました。死体の状況から多分絞殺された後に焼かれたんじゃないかと思っているのですが。
But they said they were finding another body, so was there someone else who died tonight?
どちらにせよ気の毒な話です。
大石の考えは分かってますです。僕が何か知っていると思っているんでしょう。
いやいや、まさかまさか。疑うとしたらこの一点だけです。
I just cut it halfway, and when are you gonna play Slime Rancher 2? Oh, Slime Rancher 2, it'll probably be a bit. I don't plan to play it soon. I do plan to play it at some point, but I don't think anytime soon. I'll wait for it to fully come out, and I'll wait for it to go on sale at some point, because I think Slime Rancher 2 is still getting updates, right? But I definitely will play it at some point.
あの人混みの中で小耳に挟めるようなところでこんな物騒な話をする人がいるわけがない。
僕が何かの陰謀の片棒を担いでると思っていますですか？
と思い込みたいところですが、それも引っ込めました。本当にその気なら、あなたは私にあんな入れ知恵をすることはなかったんですからね。少なくとも今回の事件を起こそうと考えた何者かとは相対する位置にいると思ってます。
それが本当ならとても嬉しいのです。
Where she threw a 10 yen coin into the offering box and she took the bell and prayer.
どうか今年こそ平見沢村連続開始事件を終わらせられますように。
そのために僕に協力しろと。
When Slime Rancher is coming to mobile, so I played on the go, and Subnautica is going to come mobile too, so you can play Subnautica. Nice. Subnautica 1, like the original Subnautica, or Subnautica 2? The one that's going to be releasing soon. Which one's coming to mobile? Or both of them coming to mobile, I don't know.
今のは
Oh, and also, is it
様にお
Slime
願い
Rancher
した
1 or
んです
2
よ。
coming to mobile? I also don't know about which one. Oishi is well aware that people call me the reincarnation of Oyashiro-sama. That must have been his attempt at a joke.
僕もこんなたたりはもう金輪際にしてほしいと思っていますです。
おや、ならフルデさんと私の求めるところは一致するようですね。
僕は昨日富武の死体が見つかりそうなところを予言しましたです。そこにパトカーはいなかったのですか？
いいえ、ちゃんと巫女様の予言に従って配置しました。ほら、細道路と砂利道の境目になっているあたりがあるじゃないですか。通称村境とか呼ばれているあたりです。あそこら辺はとても暗いですからね。何かヤバいことの起こりそうな匂いが一番プンプンするあたりです。
では富武の死体はどこで？
配置場所よりももっとずっと沖宮寄りの水田地帯の路肩です。
That's not where his body is usually found. If he was fated to hallucinate and die, he would die in the exact same spot whether the cruiser was there or not. Just because the cruiser was placed there, Tomitake was body was found in a totally different spot. In other words, the existence of the police cruiser disrupted that fate.
でですね、ここからがちょいと面白い話になります。パトにはですね、私、通る車もチェックさせたんです。
Okay, so Subnautica. Also, Subnautica should already be released, but the Below Zero is coming out soon.
そしたら、高野の車が祭りの終わった後、沖宮方向へ通過したんですよ。
Takano lives in Okinomiya. It wouldn't be strange for it to head back home after the
た
festival.
だ、乗ってたのは一人だったんです。富武は乗っていなかった。
富武はひなみ沢にはいつも自転車で来ますから。
なら自転車をトランクに積んで 車に乗せてもらうのが普通じゃありませんか。ですが富武は一緒じゃなかった。にもかかわらず富武の死体はひなみ沢からパトを越えて沖宮の方の水田地帯で見つかる。
It's 10 made for me so I can play Subnautica. Oh wait, yeah, it is 10. You have to see the time it releases though.
つまり
あの真っ暗な中、森の中を突き進んでパトを迂回したなんてできる芸当ではありません。だとしたらパトに気づかれずに街道を抜けるしか考えられない。それでさ、高野と仏の関係について教えていただけませんか。
恋人同士、それしか知らないです。
高野がね、恋人との最後の夜の仰せを一人で帰るというのが腑に落ちないんです。富武はその時トランクの中に詰められていて、あの真っ暗な森の中に捨てようとした。
Nope, not here. Unfortunate. Maybe you could look up to see if there's the time, like a release time or something.
だがお告げのパトカーがたまたまそこにいちゃったもんで、仕方なくそこを通り抜け、もっと先で富武を捨てた。
Well, Tomitake and Takano were sent here from Tokyo. I have no idea what their real identities are. I can't say that Takano had no reason to kill Tomitake. However, I've never considered that possibility before in my life. Takano killing Tomitake? But why? I can't think of any reason. Nothing comes to mind, and it's hard to imagine Takano was cornered to the point she had to kill him. You're just waiting for tomorrow? Sounds good, Chunky. I guess, yeah. Wait, do you know where Subnautica, like the studio that made Subnautica, where they're based in? You know, because maybe depending on where they are, like, you know, if it's North America, then maybe you should wait till tomorrow. But if it's in Europe, maybe it's sometime, you know, like afternoon time or evening time for you guys it'll release. No clue. In fact, it's more plausible to think she was enraged when the lovesick Tomitake acted coldly towards her and she strangled his neck.
私はあのカップル、どことなく不釣り合いだなってずっと思ってました。こう言っちゃ富武君に失礼ですが、高野さんでは荷が勝ちすぎているんじゃないかなって。高野が富武を何かに利用しようとして近づいていたとか、そういう話を村の中で聞いたことはありませんかね。
ないです。でも話は聞いてみようと思いますです。何か分かったら大石にも知らせますです。
ありがとうございます。村の内部に詳しい方、それも御三家の当主でお社様の生まれ変わりの協力がいただければ鬼に金棒ですよ。
But even the reincarnation of Oyashiro-sama couldn't solve this mystery for over 100 years. It's in San Francisco. Okay, so it's probably going to be released later then. Like, potentially tomorrow for you. Hey, Daineo!
でもその高野も殺されたのですよ。どういうことなのですか。
私はもしあなたから垂れ込み、おっと、お告げを聞いていなかったら、多分きっと富武と高野は共に犠牲者で、お社様のたたりの5年目ってことになったんだろうと思い込んだと思います。ですがこうなってくるとどうも違う。どうやらこいつはお社様のたたりの5年目ってことにしようとした巧妙な事件のように見えてきました。
つまり高野が犯人。
Basically, this is what Oishi's trying to say. They're not both victims. The culprit is also pretending to be a victim. This is really hard for me to believe. I can't think of any reason why Takano would do something like this. Oishi only feels that way because he doesn't know her as well as I do. For another thing, how can he explain that Takano's body was found? Didn't the police in Gifu Prefecture identify the body?
焼死体の識別には歯型照合が最も有効だと言われています。ただうちの鑑識のじじいが言うにはそれでも 100% じゃないという。
Hey, Ruben.
それよりおかしいのが岐阜県警鑑識の死亡時刻なんです。当初死亡時刻が合わなかったらしいんです。
I don't know where this is going to be going. Does Rika and I mean I could now that like these two have died and also they have like Project Doomsday. I don't know what Project Doomsday is, but like it's in motion it seems.
死亡時刻が合わない。
No idea where we're at right now. We saw Takano kill Tomitake and they found the body and now Oishi is talking with Rika about them finding the body. That's where we're at.
ねえ、 祭りの前夜にはもう殺されてたっていう鑑識が出ちゃったらしいんです。
I'm on a ladder watching stream. Why are you on a ladder?
内容物とかそういうのから調べるらしいですね。ですがこの時点で岐阜さんには高野の話をしちゃってたんです。だから岐阜さん、綿流しの日に彼氏とデートしてたはずの死体が死後24時間では話が合わないって言って、死亡時刻の鑑定なんかより死体の歯型鑑定の方がよっぽど精度が高いですからね。
Yes, I agree.
まあ現場にはたまにある話です。
It was nice to see her being happy and like her normal
で
self.
すが高野が犯人かもしれないって目で見てみると、
Wait, this is like the first time
高野の死体じゃ
that
ない
like
可能性
Oishi
が
has
出て
put
き
up
ま
this
す。
theory. Crazy. Wait, maybe Rika is changing
死
fate.
体をごまかすことなんて可能なのですか？
I need a stroopwafel and a pack of cigarettes. That's a crazy combo.
焼死体の鑑定は基本的に歯型以外は絶望的です。
Dental records.
例えばこれは推理小説的な荒技ですが、沖宮のデンタルクリニックに残されていた高野美代の歯型のカルテ、これが巧妙な手口で捏造されていたら誤認もあり得る。まあそんなのは抜きにして、単純に岐阜さんが高野に間違いないと決めつけてしまった可能性の方が高いですが、警察組織内では往々にして初動時の鑑定ミスが後々まで尾を引くことが少なくない。伝説的な冤罪事件のほとんどはこれに起因します。私はどうやらその可能性が拭えない気がする。
つまり
Like, are we gonna go all the way up to where Rika dies, and I'm assuming even after that? Or does it stop beforehand or something else entirely? Or is Rika's death expedited? Is it sped up a ton?
高野美代は先日以来車ごと行方
I'm
不明
guessing
で
Rika
す。
goes to see Edie at some point, but after that, I really don't know where else this chapter could go.
岐阜の死体が高野でないなら、これはなんだか面白そうな話になってきます。
Welcome back, Chunky. Yeah, it was a cool track. It was the first time we heard that track. Enjoyed it. I liked it. You had already heard about the deaths of Tomitake and Takano. Seemed like both the clinic and the office in Tokyo had flown into a panic over it. It's funny how they make such a big fuss about their own people when they don't care about what happens to other people's lives if it would get in the way of their research. Takano's subordinate, Okunogi, was in the room. Okunogi is the leader of the mountain dogs. Came here to make sure he was still willing to protect me. Based on past experience, they tend to lose interest in protecting me after Takano dies.
このぎ、高野が死んでしまいましたですが、僕は大丈夫なのですか？
大丈夫ですよ、リカさん。我々が今後も厳重に警護してますんで。
Okay, yeah, so this is the same guy with the heavy accent that we've always heard. You mean the one where I got deja vu? Yes, the one where... Exactly. Ruben, Chunky was saying that he got deja vu when listening to the song.
ですから、警察に頼ろうとしなくても問題ないです。
I guess this is part of that tight security? You must have been listening to my conversation with Oishi.
大石に聞きました。高野が実は死んでいないというのは本当ですか？
まさか。現地の県警の正式な発表ですんで。大石という刑事は今年で定年。お社様のたたりを何とか解決したい一心で。何でも話をおかしくしよう
When
と
you
す
said
る癖があり
you
おります。
requested it one time, I remembered that other song, the RF Can, but I did not remember this one at all. Like, it sounded completely new.
あいつの言うことに耳を貸さん方がいいでしょう。
Well, he's not wrong. This year is Oishi's last chance, because he's so desperate he's developed a bad habit of listening to every rumor he
で
hears.
は、おこのぎはこの事件をどう見ていますですか？
現在、上が調査してますんで、いい加減なことは言えません。殺された二人の関係を知る以上、内部犯行の可能性が極めて高いっちゅんは、間違いないんじゃないかと。
I glanced over at Edie as I listened to Okunogi speak. It seemed that whoever he was talking to over the phone was accusing him of killing them. Edie was frantically trying to prove his innocence. Soon enough, he hung up the phone. Idia looked upset that he was under suspicion after working so hard for the organization.
ああ、リカさん。
How's your stroopwafel, Chunky? Those are pretty good. I don't usually have them often, but usually, you know, I know they are pretty good whenever I do have them. I think it's because it was long ago. I crossed RFK at the end of section of chapter 6. I see.
すみ
Okay.
ませんね。だいぶお待たせして。
入江も大変なことになったようなのです。
お聞きになった通りです。
Good crunch, nice.
富武さんたちの死は
I've never
何か
had
の
one
陰謀による可能性
from,
が
you know,
非常に
the
高いです。
Netherlands, which is like, you know, where it originates. Like, I've obviously had like packaged ones and everything, but I feel like if I actually had one in the Netherlands, it would be so much better.
そして東京はその黒幕が私であると思っているようです。まったくどうしてそういう方向になるのか大いに疑
Why am
問
I
です。
snapping? Thank you, Ruben, also for putting in your for putting those combo of emotes. Was Takano surprised at all? Kind of. But I've been suspecting it ever since chapter 3, and she had Tomitake's bike in the car. It was not like 100% confirmed, but I wouldn't say I was surprised. You know? It was just finally like, okay, it's confirmed. But I wasn't like, you know, shocked at the revelation of it. What I didn't expect though was that Tomitake was literally in the trunk when Keiichi was being transported back to his home by Takano. But yeah. It didn't come as a complete shock. I didn't expect I guess like I didn't think about it, but yes, the Mountain Dogs definitely would have had a point to play. And, you know, I didn't put that together. But I did like since chapter 3, I've been sus of Takano and dying, and I didn't expect a fake body. I thought that after she killed like the only thing for me was that like why does she die right after, right? But no, it's because she fakes her death. Tunoling BFDI intro. Yeah. So who am I meant to be at the very end? Because there's the Tunolings, right? Why am I there at the very end? Who am I meant to represent? It's good as Flip. I can imagine. I can imagine. It probably is the... Yeah. I rarely ever saw Idia get so emotional. He must be feeling as though his effort is being repaid with injustice. However, it's a fact that Idia was trying to fight against the budget cuts and downsizing of his research team. Loki was thinking that could be his motive for killing them. In any case, everyone in the organization is suspicious.
リカさんの心配は分かってます。高野さんたちを殺した何者かが次にあなたを狙わないとは限らないですからね。東京もそこは特に気にしていました。
山犬にもあなたの警護体制を最高にするよう命令が来ています。ご安心してくださいね。
それが聞ければ僕は少し安心なのです。
This was the first time that the Mountain Dogs had ever tightened up my security. They usually become so busy keeping tabs on Idia after Tomitake and Takano's deaths that they end up ignoring me. Even though they're dead, I'm still in a pretty favorable situation.
高野たちを殺した犯人に心当たりはないのですか？
東京の皆さんも調べられています。状況を見る限り内部事情に精通した人間の仕業です。どうやら真っ先に疑われたのは私のようです。
By the way, they said that Takano was saying that Tomitake and Irie were the only people who didn't know that, you know, the entire clinic was conspiring against them. So does that mean even like Irie's fellow doctors are like against him, which is crazy.
富武にああいう死に方をさせられるのは入江だけなのです。
そんなことはありません。おそらく東京の方も H173 の話をしているのでしょうが、あれは危険な目的での研究が中止された時、全て破棄されたはずです。あんなことは不可能だ。
ですが所長、こういうことが起こってしまった以上、東京、それに富武氏には予防薬があらかじめ与えられていたはずにもかかわらず発症したんです。
天文学的低確率で起こった偶然だとしか言え
But
ま
I
せん。
don't understand what role these guys had to play. Unless, like, it was all to bring about the doomsday. Right? Like, what role would they have to play in kidnapping the son of the minister in chapter 4?
とにかく、絶対そんなことはありえないんです。
Hideo was usually a very calm person. Once the people in Tokyo start suspecting him, he often loses his mind.
高野が犯人ということはありませんですか？高野なら内部の人間です。
高野さんがまさか。
But as he spoke, Hideo also started to realize that everything could be explained if Takano was the culprit. But I don't know how to persuade him. That is the truth? So you're already... Like, Rika already thinks it's the truth, 100%. Even after she asked Okonogi's opinion. Tuno the Tunalings made a school play. I'm gonna send it. Okay. More than anything, people want to hear a motive. Not who did something, but why. Knowing that probably isn't as important as it sounds. No, because usually you can figure out something. A why. Like, usually you can figure out who by understanding the why. After all, you never know the motive unless the suspect talks. Guessing about the motive is just a waste of time. In other words, it's stupid to assume that Takano isn't the culprit just because I don't know what her motive is.
リカさん、確証もないことを言っちゃいけませんね。あれだけ親切にしてくれたんじゃないんですか？それを疑っちゃ悪いですね。
Upon hearing me be ungrateful towards his boss, Okinogi flashed me an unpleasant smile. It's true that Takano was very nice to me. It might be disrespectful of me to say suspect her. However, I still can't trust her completely yet. Okay, what is this? What is this, Chunky?
I love you. I hear babies cry. Drake is a baby. No. I watch them grow and grow. Fuck you.
Wow. Dude, why is this guy beating up on this guy on the mic? What did he do to deserve that? Perhaps I've developed the same bad habit as Oishi. I'm believing that every crazy theory I hear just because I'm desperate to escape from my fate.
とにかく、私たちの身近で何か良くないことが起こりつつあるのは間違いありません。用心するに越したことはないでしょ
う。ご心配なく、所長に対する警護体制も最高にするよう命令を受けております。
Dude, why is this guy like just constantly making this face? Like, at least make a pleasant face so we could at least be lulled into a false sense of security. When you do this face constantly, it's like you're scheming something 24/7. You called him short and a baby. Toodling 2 deserved that. You know, but what if it's true though? What if it was true though, you know? Like, should he be beaten up for speaking the truth? Hideo smiled bitterly. For him, their protection wouldn't be too different from stalking.
リカさんも警察には不用意なことを喋らないようにお願いします。分かってると思いますが、場合によっては機密保持のため、厄介なことになるかもしれませんので。
He was implying that he had to kill anyone I talked to. This isn't the first time they've warned me about this. It's just... What if Takano really is the culprit? Technically, they're babies. True, true. He is then. Okonogi is almost certainly involved too. Then it makes sense that he wouldn't want me to suspect Takano. But that would be horrifying. If Takano was my enemy, then the mountain dogs were too. This whole clinic is a lion's den. Hideo is just a researcher, so he probably wouldn't really know what's going on. The more I thought about it, the more confused I got. Why would Takano do something like this? I thought I just convinced myself that the motive shouldn't matter, but I can't stop thinking about it. Is Takano really behind it all? Am I going crazy as a Oishi just because how badly I want to solve this mystery? Perhaps mountain dogs are more like wolves looking after a flock of sheep. Lived for over 100 years. Never once found out who killed me, and I stayed close to the Idia Institute so that they'd protect me. What if that was my big mistake? Well, I'm sure that Idia has no bad intentions. Many lives I just got to see how genuine his feelings are. I can trust him. However, he's not really reliable. Okonogi glanced over at me. He smiled and told me not to worry, but I noticed an evil glint in his eyes. Possible that I have Hinamizawa syndrome, and that was just a hallucination. I don't understand anything. I don't even know who my enemies are anymore. There's no point in thinking about this any longer. I have to only trust who I know I can trust for sure. There are only a few of those people, though. Irie, Oishi, my friends. If Fukunogi's on Takano's side, he'll be watching me very closely. If I started accusing Takano of anything, who knows what they'd do to me. When this world first began, I thought I had no time left. But that wasn't true. The number of things that happened in just 2 weeks was immense. I probably only have a few more days until the day of my death. What can I do? Change this. Am I supposed to just take Hanyu's advice and resign this time? Okay, Rika! Determined to fight! Goes to school here. Goes to class. Fight! Believe!
うん。それで、渡流しの番にはもう失踪していたらしいんだよ。
お社様のたたりかな。
さすがに5年も連続すると薄気味悪いよな。
Minamizawa is a small village. We're spread fast here. Besides, she's Mion Sonozaki. Would have found out about this yesterday, even if the police were trying to hide it. My friends were all talking about the mysterious deaths of Tomitake and the disappearance of Takano. In this village are very superstitious. No matter what happens, they conclude that everything is the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Past incidents don't matter to me. All I'm interested in is this current one. Tatsuko Rika phone call was high-key a touching moment. It was! It was a very... Like, that entire scene was just so good. It was such a very, very good scene. The culprit of this case could kill me too. Will probably kill me too. 2 days have passed since Watson. Oh, 2 days? Okay. Today's Tuesday, June 21st, 1983. At the earliest, I'll get killed on the night of the 20th. But tomorrow. That is tomorrow night. The day of my death is always different. I always end up getting killed, but the day when it happens varies. I guess the culprit has their own reasons for that. Only one thing I'm sure about. Based on my experiences, I'll live for sure until tomorrow night. Then, I'll have to live with the fear of getting murdered at any moment. Still, there's no real reason to be afraid. When I wake up, I'll just be in a brand new world again. I can never remember how I'm killed. That's why I'm not that afraid of the killing itself. I'm just frustrated that my life is about repeating the same things over and over again. Like a broken record. However, at present I'm frustrated. My classmates just expect that their peaceful days will continue forever. I couldn't feel that way. I feel frustrated and full of sorrow, as I really don't want to die.
明日の夜ですが、リカは悔いがありませんですか？
バカ。ないわけないでしょ。
Honey was trying to warn me that I might get killed tomorrow night, as though she already knew it was going to happen for sure.
リカはとてもよく頑張りました。そして今年の綿流しは僕が生きてきた中でも一番の楽しいお祭りでした。それはリカもだったのではないですか？
It was fun. It really was fun. Satoko had band-aids all over her face, but everyone was there together, and we kicked up a storm. I want this world to continue forever. I can't accept that this world is gonna end tomorrow at the earliest. And within 1 or 2 weeks at the latest.
また次の世界でもきっと楽しくできますのですよ。
この世界はもう終わりなの。こんなにも楽しい世界なのに。もう終わりなの。
All my friends are happy and alive. Heiichi doesn't feel alone, and Rena's family is happy too. Mion and Shion are getting along, as well as Shion and Satoko. The issue of Satoko's uncle is resolved, and she's no longer treated coldly by the others. This is the best world I've ever experienced. But this world is gonna end.
リカ、僕たちは特別な存在なのに、リカは自分のことを普通の人間として考えすぎなのです。楽しいパーティーがいつまでも続けばいいのにと子供の誰もが願う。でもいつかパーティーはお開きになりますのです。だから子供たちは楽しい瞬間をどうか永遠に続いてほしいと願うのです。
What are you trying to say? That this world is a party? This should be the norm.
でもだからといって終わったパーティーを嘆くことはない。
Hanyu, I hate Hanyu's mindset so much.
眠ればまた明日の朝になる。そしてまたいろいろと楽しいことが起こるのです。パーティーが終われば消えてしまうシンデレラなんかいない。
私の生への固執をそんな風に例えられるなんて知らなかったわ。
今のリカはパーティーから帰りたくないと
Hanyu,
泣
shut
いて
up.
椅子にしがみつく子供と同じなのです。どうして泣いたり悲しんだりする必要が。またパーティーはやってきます。リカは死を越すことを未だに意味嫌っているけれど、僕たち
羽生は昭和58年の6月より先に何があるのか
見たくないと言えば嘘になりますです。でもそれに固執して裏切られ傷ついてゆくリカの方が心配なのです。
When you're forced to live the same things over and over and over again, it's all just despair. You want to go past it.
リカには分かってない。気の遠くなるほどの長い時間を誰とも会話することができず、楽しい祭りもじっと眺めているだけ。子供たちの遊ぶ輪を横で眺めていることしかできない悲しさなんてわからない。誰にも私の姿が見えない。誰にも私の声が届かないし、そんな辛さや悲しさがリカに想像つきますのですか？
Yeah, but that's not the issue, Hanya. Right? The issue that you have is that you're telling Rika, you're giving Rika contradictory statements. You're telling her, right? Oh, be optimistic, but at the same time, don't be optimistic. You're literally giving her two conflicting pieces of information.
その中でやっと出会えたリカなのです。僕はリカがいなかったら
Or make tuneling info, okay? Like, what info?
でもリカのように死ねもしないのです。僕は時の果てまで一人ぼっちで生きていかなくてはならない。
Thoughts? About what exactly?
新しいあなたが現れるま
There's
で
a lot of things going on
ずっ
right
と
now in
膝
this
を抱いて一人で過ごしていかなくてはならない。
segment, so to say. There's a lot of things that have happened. Taco. Tacos are cool. I enjoy them.
僕はそんなのは嫌なのです。絶対に嫌なのです。
羽生
だからリカ、あの悲しい約束を取り消してほしいのです。
I think she is going to. I think she is going to take back that promise.
運命に打ち勝てなかったら、もうすべてを諦めるというあの約束を取り消してほしいのです。
What do you mean taco no? No taco.
羽生ごめん。もう少しだけその返事を待たせて。
I'll do what I can until the end. When that happens, I can decide what to do. If I think there's still some hope, I can go on living. But if I feel desperate enough, I can just give up. What are you saying, Dianea? Might not ultimately be a bad thing. Repeat June of 1983 over and over again. Perhaps I might be blessed with another fortunate life someday. The Toonling is a chaotic little creature that they want to cause chaos where they go. Sometimes they get a hat, but only the smart ones, and they all come from there. The leader Tuno, the Toonalings only consume sweets and metal. Why are there two polar opposite things? Sweets and metal. It's like, those are two completely, like, one of them is, like, not even a food thing, and the other one is sweets.
どうしたよレナ。リカちゃんをお持ち帰りする算段でもしてるのか？
ねえケイイチくん、リカちゃんに元気がないとは思わないかな。
どうだろうな。奉納演舞の疲れが抜けないんじゃないのか？
Rika-chan was sitting all by herself wearing a sad expression. I'd say she might still be tired from the festival, but that wasn't really how it looked.
さとこちゃんが
They
解放され
consume
て
cars and
踊
can't
り上がって
drive.
もいいくらいなのに、なんだか昨日からリカちゃんの様子がおかしいよう
Yeah,
に
maybe
思
that
う
is
の。
pretty accurate to me then. Since I don't have my license, but we can consume the cars, they consume the inedible things, since that's apparently what everyone wants to do. Since I'm inedible, everyone wants to consume me. Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay. So I was telling this to Ruben earlier. It was not a shock that so it's not like I was 100% certain, but it wasn't a shock that I found out she killed Tomitake. I didn't put two and two together that the mountain dogs were also involved in this. I thought it was just Takano, but it makes sense that, like, the mountain dogs were involved in it. But, like, ever since, I was telling this to Ruben, ever since chapter 3, you were kind of sus of Takano and, like, her connection to Tomitake's death. But I didn't realize that when she picked up Keiichi in the trunk in chapter 3, when she picked up Keiichi, Tomitake's body was in the trunk as well, which makes sense because she was adamant to not, how do you say? She was adamant to not have Keiichi open the trunk whatsoever. But yeah, I feel like overall, I don't know what the Doomsday is though. What Doomsday is. So we have to learn what that is. We're a trio. I'll just walk, guys. What is that? Wait, that's so stupid. The bus driver just allows us to leave with it. Why is the Tootling a bus and stealing the bus driver's spot? Why? My I guess minions would never do that.
悩み事でもあるんじゃないかな。
てっぺの件は完全に決着したはずだろ。リカちゃんが悩むような問題は何もないはずだぜ。
We thought Satoko and Rika-chan might not be able to live together if they found a new guardian for Satoko, but that problem is also solved. Either the Sonozaki family or the Kimiyoshi family will become her guardian. Here, Kimiyoshi is already Rika's guardian. They are smart except one. Which one? If the Sonozaki family gets custody, Satoko will officially become Shion's little sister. But yeah, overall, okay, but the other thing, Dianea, that I didn't go into how do you say, detail on before. I have no clue what this Operation Doomsday thing is. Like, what is that? Why does Takano need to, like, want this thing to happen where she wants the curse to happen and she wants to fake her body and the government is behind everything and it's literally government conspiracy. Like, is she an alien? Is she not? Like, I don't know. Are we going back to chapter 6 where Rena is like saying there's like trying to release a virus onto the entire world? And like Takano is saying stuff like, oh, they're worlds apart to Tomitake. Is that figuratively or literally? I don't know. Anyway, I have no idea why Rika-chan was acting so upset.
こういう時は声をかけてみるのが一番じゃねえのか?
The one without a hat. Well, the one without a hat was the one who was driving it. It just drove the bus off the mountain.
それがかえってデリカシーがない時もあるし。でも、ケイイチ君なら大丈夫だと思うかな。
それはつまり俺にデリカシーがないっていう意味だな。
Rena laughed and stuck her tongue out at me. Out at me? Yeah, out at me. Okay. I walked up to Rika-chan and struck up a conversation. Perhaps something is still troubling Satoko and we just don't know about it. If that's the case, we need to help her.
元気なさそうだな。何か悩んでるのか?
ケイイチ。
Rika-chan had to be daydreaming, and it took her a while to realize I was talking to her.
僕が悩んでるように見えましたですか?
まあな。どうしたんだよ。何かあったのか?
It took her a while to answer. The long silence had to mean
ケイイ
yes.
チ、聞いてもらいたい詩がありますです。誰が作った詩かは聞かないでくださいです。そして聞いたら感想を聞かせてほしいです。
いいぜ。どんなのだよ。
Rika-chan closed her eyes and recited a short poem. Went something like this. Everyone has the right to be happy. I love Rika, did you know? I actually had no clue about that. This is like the first time I'm hearing about that. Well, like, I really thought you would have liked the fat old man. One has the right to be happy. It's so hard to receive. One has the right to be happy. It's so hard to fulfill. I have the right to be happy. It's so hard to compromise.
結構難しい詩だな。
By the way, Dianea, I just watched the first episode of this, and you probably would like it because it's all about witches. It's called Witch Hat Atelier. So if that's an anime that's airing right now, so you probably would be interested in that. Tilly's already searching for the One Piece. Why are we on Luffy's ship now? Or I guess our own ship.
それはリカちゃんが作ったのかって聞くのはなしなんだったな。
なしです。圭一はこの詩を聞いてどんな感想を持ちましたですか？
Everyone has the right to be happy. Yet it's so hard to receive. Understand that. I've heard the name thrown around. It's really good animation. Like, it trusts... Like, if you... Like, I've only watched the first episode. But I'm really interested to see what comes next. The animation itself is just very, very good. And, like, it has a very cool hook to it.
Shiver me timbers! Shiver me timbers! Shiver me timbers!
This is so stupid.
Shiver me timbers! Shiver me timbers! Shiver me timbers! Shiver me timbers! Shiver me timbers!
This is what we're gonna do on a pirate ship. That's what everyone will do. Just say shiver me timbers back and forth. Everyone does have the right to be happy. That doesn't mean everyone can receive that happiness. Yes, we will. Nice. What would our ship name be called? Oh yeah, what I was saying, Dianea. I definitely will continue watching it, but I'm gonna wait for all the episodes to come out because I want to binge it all at once. The episode 1 animation was so good, and you could see that it's like set up like that for the rest of, like, it's gonna be like that forever, or like for the rest of the season at least. You know, you never know what happens in later seasons, but the thing, I want Yaoi right now. Well, I'm sure you could just open up your Tomodachi Life world and that would work. That would be fine. What do you have here, Ruben? I want Yuri. Maybe. What do you mean maybe? Why, you can't say you want something and then say maybe. One of the Higurashi visual novel openings. Okay. Okay, so this looks like chapter 6 stuff. Oh, this is the literal thing, like... Oh, you know what? I probably should go back and watch the openings at some point, shouldn't I? For console, yeah, okay. Who are these guys? Is that Keiichi? Why does Keiichi look so feminine there? Some of those characters are not on the main series. I see, okay. Yeah. Okay, there's Rena. Oh, that's them fighting on the roof. Oh, that's when he goes and fights Oreo. So this is 6, literally 6-7 opening. I want to have this as a full-on anime. Well, I have news for you, Chunky. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. But you said it's from the console arcs, though, right? So, like, a bunch of those characters I have not seen then? How are you doing, Teacup, by the way? I didn't ask. It's so hard to fulfill. This one is a little harder to understand, but exercising that right probably refers to the process of finding happiness. Everyone has the right to work hard for their happiness. Now it's time for my favorite singing monster song. It's not easy for that work to bear fruit. I have the right to be happy. Yet it's so hard to compromise. I guess she's trying to talk about compromising your happiness? No limit to human desires. You never stop wanting more. That's why people need to make compromises on their happiness. At least that's how I understand it. She was trying to say that we should be satisfied with what we have. It sounds like a positive statement. Have enough channel points. No! Exploded? How did you explode, Teacup? From Yaoi? Trying to say that we should be satisfied with what we have. It sounds like a positive statement. There's also a negative tone to the way it's presented. There's openings for chapter 6 and 7, but I don't know why they're calling it chapters.
詩を作った人の心情を表しているものだと思う。
僕もそうだと思いますです。それで、感想はいかがですか？
You wouldn't admit it, but I'm sure Rika-chan is the one who made that poem, and it's reflecting on how she's feeling. I'm not that smart, but even I can understand that.
悲しい歌だなって思った。
For, Witch Hat, Atelier? Were you asking Dianea?
悲しいですか？
最初の2つはわかる。
I think only 6 right now, from when we checked.
幸せに過ごす権利は誰にだってあるが、だからといって誰でも簡単に幸せになれるわけじゃないもんな。
Witch Hat, yeah. I watched the first episode. I watched the first episode today, and I was recommending it to Dianea because she is a huge fan of witches.
そういう厳しさを歌ったものだと思う。でも、
And the entire anime is about witches, from what it seems.
妥協ってのは諦めるって意味だ。この詩の私は幸せになることを諦めて、今を妥協して幸せだと思い込もうとしてるんだ。
Watch ReZero. That is true, yeah.
幸せだと思い込もうとしている。
This is the lore that Chunky made her.
ですか。
What we're calling, like, what we may call the Delphintuno, like, followers. The Tunolings.
それも
We're still trying to decide if that's the thing, but it's an idea proposed by Chunky.
誰だって努力さえすればきっと幸せになれるのに、自分だけはそれが絶対届かないとは、そんな諦めが漂う悲しい歌だ。
なら圭一、この詩の私はどうすればいいんでしょうか？
くじけるなってことだな。
くじけるなですか。
この詩を歌ったやつは自分がどういう風になれれば幸せなのか、それは決して高望みしたものではないと思う。どうやったら幸せになれるかを延々3段も考察してるやつなんだぜ。だからここまで幸せになりたいと一途に思ってるなら、
Rain wants your sandwich. Is there cheese powder in your sandwich again, like last time? Or like no, when you made macaroni and cheese? Did you put I just realized a macaroni and cheese sandwich. You know what? That maybe it's secretly good. A macaroni and cheese sandwich. Maybe like we found the new hidden like food that we should all try.
俺たちは絶望的な状況をほんの数日でひっくり返したんだぜ。
What do you mean no? Weirdo. Listen, I'm just, you know, food, you should be creative. All right? You shouldn't stick to the same thing. Break the norms. Right? If you ate a macaroni and cheese sandwich and people stared at you, screw them. You do what you want.
みんなで力を合わせればきっと奇跡が起こせる。リカちゃんだってそれを目の当たりにしたはずだぜ。あるんだろ？打ち明けてくれよ。
打ち明けたいことはあります。でも打ち明ければみんなはもうひなみ沢でのんびりと暮らすことはできなくなるでしょう。私にとっての幸せはみんなと楽しく昭和58年6月以降も過ごすこと。だからこそ6月をくぐり抜けるためだけにみんなを巻き込んでも、それは私にとっての幸せではない。
What is this? What is so the jump off? That guy that's launched into the fan. That is so stupid. Oh my gosh. I don't know why the Tunolings are literally just kids now.
ひなみ沢にのんびり暮らせなくなる？どうしてだよ。
打ち明けたことを知られたら奴らは必ずみんなを殺す。だから助けを求め
Mac
ら
and
れない。
cheese sandwich is something Keiichi would come up with. It's true. You know, I can't deny you there.
殺すって穏便な話じゃないな。まさかリカちゃん誰かに脅迫されてるのか？
The word kill is not something that most people use casually. I was shocked to hear it coming from her mouth. That's why I couldn't help but raise my
誰
voice.
が敵かもわからない状態です。一つわかるのは誰かが私を必ず殺すということだけです。
ごめんリカちゃん、話してくれ。一体何があったんだ？
Is Teppei threatening her? No, that's not possible. The police arrested him. Besides that, the Sonozaki family told him to never come back to the village. Why are you crying, Diana? There's no way he could contact Rika-chan in order to threaten her. And even if that somehow was the case, Rika-chan would just talk with me on it and everything would be taken care of. Based on her expression, it seems like this is way deeper than that.
ごめんなさいです。これ以上言えばきっと巻き込みますです。圭一たちが巻き込まれれば仮に6月を超えられても、だから打ち明けられないのです。
Rika, yeah.
それが多分私が望む幸せに対し妥協しないということなのだと。
リカちゃんがさっきから何を言ってるのかさっぱりだが、リカちゃんのその言い方、先日までの里子にそっくりだぜ。
里子に？
ああ、耐えることが美徳だと勘違いして戦う勇気を忘れてる。そういう風に聞こえるな。電話で里子に戦う勇気を奮い起こせと劇を飛ばしたリカちゃんらしくもないぜ。
My words that clearly hurt Rika-chan's feelings. She bit her lip and went quiet for a moment.
巻き込まれれば圭一たちもきっと殺されますですよ。
殺されるのはごめんだな。でもよ、放っておけばリカちゃんは必ず殺されるんだろ。だったら俺もリカちゃんのいない未来なんてごめんだな。リカちゃんが俺たちを巻き込みたくないって思うように、俺たちもリカちゃんを失いたくないって思ってる。
Or what are you saying it's true to what you said earlier, or to what Keiichi's been saying here? Fo's gonna die on the stream before Rika does. Alright, Ruben, thanks for stopping by. Have a good rest of your day. And I think we'll probably be finishing this chapter today, so I'll be deciding. I probably won't start on chapter 8 until I come back from my vacation. So yeah. No Satoko. Okay, see you, Ruben. Like, what Keiichi was saying, that, like, she sounds just like Satoko? I agree. She does.
腹ごとは大歓迎だぜ。それに3人集まれば文殊の知恵って言うだろ。部活メンバーみんなで相談し合えば必ず妙案が出るぜ。
You have a few more segments to go? I'm pretty sure, according to Steam, though, it's only one more achievement I have to get.
いくら部活メンバーでも無理なも
Or
のは
like
無
one
理だ
more
と思い
main
ますです。
chapter achievement.
俺たちを巻
At
き込
least
み
for
た
this
くないから
chapter. Like,
打ち明
obviously,
けら
I
れない
still
ん
have
だな。
chapter 8, but yeah.
ならリカちゃんは俺たちに打ち明けず一人で死のうってことなんだな。
そういうことだと思いますです。
耐えることを美徳だと勘違いするな。戦う勇気を思い出すんだ。心の整理がついたらいつでも何時でもいいから相談してくれ。俺たちは絶対に力になるからな。
ありがとうです。
Rika-chan was wearing a sorrowful smile. I could tell that she appreciated my sympathy. I don't know why, but Rika-chan is troubled by something. It's a matter of life and death for her. She can't even talk to us about it. At the very least, she won't talk to me.
どうだった圭一くん。
リカちゃんが悩み事だって珍しいね。
さとこ、変なことを聞いてすまんが、リカちゃんが命を狙われているような話ってあるのか？
は？何を言ってるんですの圭一さんは。
リカちゃまは村のシンボルじゃないですか。拝む人はいても命を狙う人なんているわけないです。
Is this the first time ever that there's been 4 people on the screen at once? I was wondering why Mion was so far to the left there. I don't think I've ever seen 4 people on the screen at once.
なんだいなんだい、物騒な話だね。
More I talked to my friends, the stranger, it seemed that someone would try to kill Rika-chan. Everyone was even more confused than I felt.
リカちゃんは悩みを打ち明けてくれたわけじゃない。でも何かに悩んでるのは間違いなく、それはかなり深刻らしいんだ。リカちゃんが俺たちを信頼してくれるなら、きっと近いうちに打ち明けてくれると思う。その時はどんな突拍子もない話であってもきっと信じてあげて力になってあげよう。きっとだぜ。
We all looked at each other and nodded. Okay, so the only thing that was during Zena's confession in 6. Did they have 4 people on, like? I guess, yeah, but they were different sizes technically, right? Because like there were 3 like up front, and then there's 1 in the back. Yeah, right. Dated notebook. Okay. Oh, damn. Okay. Well, yeah. There's more. Hi. Achievement. Like, not gonna care. Safe here. Dated notebook 2. Son of God. Okay. We get to listen to philosophy. Son of God promised that he would be resurrected with it. Sinful men guarded his grave to make sure he would not wake up, but that was foolish of them. That his spirit and lessons would be resurrected, not his physical shell. Not be afraid of physical death. You achieve great things, you will live again. Pass death and become immortal. A demon took the Son of God to a cliff and told him to jump off. He claimed that if he was really a son of God, a miracle would help him survive. He tried to challenge the Lord. The Lord challenges humans, but humans may not challenge the Lord. The challenge is to suspect. Suspicion will speak words of evil into your air, and it'll make you falter. Do not doubt your own achievements. Do not doubt your own life. Do not doubt your contributions. Do not let others criticize your achievements. That is the same as doubting your own life. Ifumi T. Once again, person from Persona. Okay, well, that was something. Still, like, 1 more then? There's a couple more, but still, like... Oh, play a song? We might have to play it tomorrow, Chunky, because I'm planning on ending stream right here. Or if you want, I can refund the points, and then you could just keep the points for another time. What would you prefer? I didn't do it, Diana. Oh my gosh. Refund. Okay, sure. Let me that's that. Why do you want to watch? I didn't do it. So badly done. Let me. Okay, of course. Just wait. Watch 1 minute of I didn't do it. Oh, it's review requests. There. Holy wait, I have to go and complete all these things. Because I am sitting on so many song completions, but like, I don't know if I want to press it. No refund? I'm doing, yes, I'm doing. I was just getting it. How far? I have to go check. I didn't do it 10 hours. And now we can watch this for a minute. Oh, tab there and tab. What are you guys planning to do? Or Chunky, what's your plan for the day? Diane, what's your plan for the rest of the night? Just how far? We're gonna be at 27 minutes and 45 seconds after this. We're gonna watch TV probably? That sounds good. You planning on rewatching Murder Drones? I did, yeah. This is what we have to. I'll probably read episode 5. Okay. How far are you at right now? Wow. There we go. Okay, I just have to get to that point. Why'd you arrive and then leave, Chunky? Like 7 in. Oh, yes, you're getting through. You think you'll finish it by the end of the month? 6 or 7? True. You think you'll finish it by the end of the month? Or the end of next month? What is that with Yoshi bringing down the hammer? I'm gonna be heading out now. Thank you for everyone who stopped by the stream. I've already finished 4 this. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, are you gonna finish? Like, sorry, what I meant to say. Are you gonna finish all of it? Like, the entirety of Umineko by the end of this month? Like, entire episode 5, 6, 7, 8. Are you finished? Do you think you'll finish? Or next month? That's what I'm wondering. But yeah. Okay. I will be heading out now. You can reply your message to me